I fly to you. That's what Dana Rohrbach is singing now from Russia with Love. He gets to go. He gets to go back home. Thanks to all the voters and to Harley Rouda, who never Rouda. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, Reverend. Great to be back on the show. We did it. How about that? I appreciate your words, but I tell you, this was a team effort in the truest sense. We had so many volunteers, so many supporters, and we would not have gotten over the finish line without such incredible support. He finally conceded just about 2 days ago, even though it had been in the bag for quite some time, but had the invitation from him to visit with him in his office and took advantage of that because part of what we want to accomplish whenever there's a transition is making sure the caseload of constituents, the work that they need to get addressed, moves from the
California really went well for us, didn't it, overall?
Incredible, really. We picked up 7 seats. So California has 53 members of Congress, and on January 3rd, 46 of them will be from the Democratic Party.
What do you think was the bottom line for voters in California and even in your district, Harley, that really made the difference? Or was the
direction of our country under Trump and the visceral attacks on minorities, the denigration of individuals he disagrees with, and the continued separation and country I want to live in. And I'm proud to stand with those Americans and hope we continue that movement in that direction.
Yeah, no, this is very, very important. So what are going to be your priorities when you get to Congress?
Yeah, there's big priorities and smaller priorities as far as in the ability of getting it done. They're all big. The question is getting them done. And I think it's also important that we look at what can we get done from a bipartisan standpoint. So the more tougher issues on a bipartisan standpoint that I think are important are comprehensive immigration reform and infrastructure that also combines addressing climate change. Those are big, hairy, audacious goals that are going to be difficult to get across the finish line in the short term. But on the shorter term, we certainly have opportunities to address the opioid crisis in a better way than we're doing now, and also address some of the issues regarding minorities and redoing the prison system and addressing the historical issues we've had there.
Now, I noticed you didn't mention in investigating Trump, although you and your campaign, because of your opponent more than any other, were not afraid to deal with the issue of Russia. You know, some folk didn't want to get into that, but you did. You really didn't have much of a choice. I mean, it was right in front of you. You know,
exactly.
with Dana. But what are your thoughts though about Democrats pursuing the investigation? Now, just before you came on, we spoke with Hakeem Jeffries. And he made the point that it's important that Democrats legislate more than over-investigate. But we both also agree with Maxine, because Maxine's been saying all the while, Harley, that Trump is the gift that keeps giving. He's leading to his own impeachment. It's not like Democrats told him to have Paul Manafort serve as a double agent. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly.
So is there a balance there? What do you think?
I think there has to be a balance. If otherwise, we're going to have unneeded backlash. So what we talk about is oversight, but not overreach, as we are obligated to do under Article 1 of the Constitution, which is oversight. And towards that end, I think it is very important for us to make sure that Mueller has the time and the resources to do the breadth and depth that his investigation deserves. And then let's see what that says, and then let's take whatever action is appropriate if needed.
Yeah. That's
now, that being said, if I'm a betting man, I'll tell you where I put my money.
Right. Well, no, just like Maxine said. I mean, she, people accused her of saying impeach him, but her argument was always he is going to lead us there on his own, and she's been right about that so far. I mean, you can't, of all the schemes that they've come up with and the schemes they're running, from Manafort to Corsi, and I mean, I don't know how many people historically, how it's worked out well for people who've tried to double cross a prosecutor.
Let me be very clear. If we reversed all of this and said this was a Democrat
oh my God,
president doing this, my tune would be the exact same as it is right now.
Sure. But now that I think about it too, Harley, they messed up the process with Clinton. And I think they lowered the American public's tolerance for a lot of investigation. But it's now I look back on, it's almost as if they knew what they were doing. So that if they were ever in that position, we would have to be the ones to temper it with balance because they were so imbalanced toward Clinton. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, I hear what you're saying. And I think that's part of the concern that the Democrats have now is making sure that, again, it's oversight, not overreach.
Right.
Because
Right.
some feel, and some don't feel this way, but some do feel that there was overreach in the Clinton impeachment proceedings.
Right.
And we need to stay focused on why Mueller's team was assembled in the first place. And it's paying dividends. We have, I think it's over 40 indictments or convictions,
Right.
And more to come.
Yeah. Harley Rouda, folks, big part of the Blue Wave. Harley, did you vote for Nancy Pelosi on yesterday? Did you support her?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I actually put a press release out right before Thanksgiving that I supported her and the reasons I supported her. And I do believe we need to have a succession plan and make sure that younger leadership has an opportunity to grow into these key roles. But right now, at this time in our country's history, we need Nancy Pelosi.
Now, speaking of younger leadership, like I said, we just had Hakeem Jeffries on, whose opponent was a fellow member of yours from California, colleague Barbara Lee. Where did you come down on that for the caucus chair?
Well, I've taken the position I'm not going public with my competing races. Nancy was not a competing race. But I will tell you that Barbara Lee and Hakeem Jeffries are both outstanding individuals. In fact, all these people who are running for these leadership positions, you can't make a bad choice.
Okay.
They've got a great bio, great resume, great history of serving the American public, and we are all honored to have them leading us forward.
And lastly, Harley, I'm not sure how the process works. As a freshman, what do you do? Do you put a bid in to be on certain committees? Do you say to the leadership, hey, I'd like to serve on this particular committee, or is it kind of a wait and see? Do they assign you? How does that work?
There's a lot of factors that go into it. So they call them A committees, B committees, and C committees.
Okay.
And it's usually highly unlikely for a freshman to get on an A committee. It may be a little different this year just because there's such a large incoming class. And what happens is if you have a committee that's, say, 20 people, that 20 people gets divided between the Republicans and Democrats based on their proportion of the Congress. So with us bringing 60 people in, we're taking seats from all these committees and moving them to the Democratic side, a lot of them. So you may see some freshmen get on those A committees. And if they don't get on the A, they'll get on the B and C and hope to get to the A later on in their career.
So do you have some committees in your sites that you'd like to see yourself on?
Yeah, there's two A committees I'm interested in. One's energy and commerce, and the other is transportation and infrastructure, because I have a desire to address climate change through infrastructure and focus on the development of clean tech and clean energy, green energy industries. And so those two committees are what I'm interested in, but they are long shots. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
But obviously those are priorities for you, Harley, because I mean, if we're going to talk about jobs for people, that's the future. We just can't. I mean, it's just there's really no other way to look at it.
Right, and healthcare falls under getting the climate change addressed, and so we've got an opportunity not only to create jobs but also make our world a better place to live.
If I were in office, Harley, I tell you, I'd be the high-speed rail congressman. Okay, in terms of infrastructure and transportation.
Well, we got to get you in office.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, I'm going to support you in that because I think, I mean, just think about that as an industry. Think about that as clean energy. Think about the jobs that would create, because that's what other countries in the world are doing, and we're just not yet,
Well, you're right. I mean, look at Europe and Asia, and here's the interesting statistic. The U.S. spends about 2.5% of our GDP on infrastructure. The European Union spends 5%, double us, and China spends triple what we spend. Wow. So not only do we lag them, we see it every day in our roads, in our bridges, in our hospitals, in our parks, in our schools, in our complete infrastructure. We've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Harley Rouda, folks, in California, we congratulate him on his win in the 48th District for this 116th Congress. Harley, I really appreciate us getting to know one another and appreciate your friendship. And we're here for you, brother. Let's continue to work together while you're in Congress. And lastly, your colleagues in the Senate are encouraging all to contact their senators today. Dianne Feinstein, Kamala Harris, they're saying everyone should call their senators to ask them to vote against Thomas Farr's nomination for the court today. And I know you agree with that as well, Harley.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you're getting that message out. Reverend, it's always a pleasure to be on your show, and keep fighting the good fight.
Let's keep in touch, Harley. We're always here for you, man, okay?
Take care.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. Great to talk with Harley Rouda. Let's get a quick call or two in before we're just about out of time. Nay is in Ohio. Nay, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke. Get ready for impeachment. Go right ahead.
Good morning to you.
Hey.
I just have a.
Hey, Nay.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Nay. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Because it rhymes. Go ahead, though. I'm messing with you. Go ahead. Well, what happened to her? Did we lose it? Nay, you still there?
You laughed her off the air.
I did. She's probably
No,
mad.
I'm still here.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just wondering. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 53, and when I was growing up, we had such pride not only in ourselves, but also in the other people. Not for their color or anything else. Just pride because we could be prideful people. I'm just lost with the way we started being stupid about each other and about our country here. Do you feel the same way, or is it just me?
Well, now, when you say we had pride, who exactly are you speaking of?
Like, just people in general. I mean, just people, just Americans.
Okay.
Like, I mean, my friends, when we were growing up, you dressed yourself up, you got yourself ready, you picked yourself up and you kept moving. And yeah, you had things going on. Everybody had things going on. But we still had where you knew your accomplishments, where you knew where you stood in this life. Pride in that sense of saying. We've gotten on a stupid level here, and I'm just like wondering, like, what happened? Where did we go?
But who do you think is being stupid? Americans in general, or are you talking about a specific group of Americans?
No, it's not, because it's not just a group. Like, you have white Republicans and you have black Republicans. And then you have white Democrats and black Democrats. We just can't. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind how we've gotten to where we are, to where we're so mad at each other about ridiculous stuff when we're all in this game together.
Well, but let me just ask you this, though, because when you talk about pride, Donald Trump's talking about pride. He's talking about nationalism. That's a form of white pride.
Okay. So with him and the way that I think for him, and I think we can all agree, his pride is just in himself, for getting himself to where he is. That's it. I just think he is so selfish and so absorbed that he doesn't even see anybody else around him anyway, period. He includes them because they include him. But for the most part, he doesn't see anybody else. He only sees him and his children and what he has been able to accomplish for them. But I don't think he really wanted to be the president. I think they just forced it on him because he was talking and saying and sounding like they wanted him to sound, and now he's just took it to a whole new level. But I don't think.
So how would you like to see Americans behave, or go back to the way they used to behave? How would you describe that? What would you like to see?
Us remind each other that we need each other, first of all, irregardless of your color, that God placed us all in this realm, in this United States, for a reason. Like, he could have placed us anywhere else in the world, but he placed us all together right here, so that, first of all, we could help each other and shouldn't be dogging each other or downing each other, because no matter what happens in life, everybody's going to die, no matter what. No one stands.
Mm-hmm.
So why not help each other to be the best that we can be, not only for ourselves, but as a country, to help whoever else needs to be helped like we were doing before.
Right.
But be happy about being alive and about being in this place that God has allowed us to be, because as we see, look at Yemen, look at all the other places. Look, just take a look around you and see that everything ain't peaches and cream for everybody, but it is somewhat for us. So we should be a little more prideful and a little more joyous about being together or being placed together to do something good for others, and not just ourselves.
Right. Okay, Nay.
Does that make any sense?
It makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, folks. We got a couple minutes left. Quick calls. How many of you looked at Donald Trump's signature too, and counted the number of hooded KKK members in it? You can go to our twitter.com/makeitplain and see it, and also facebook.com/makeitplain. I know some of you have replied. Michael Butler, MJB777 on Twitter says 14 to 18. Andre T. Jones 1977 says 13. He sees 13 hooded KKK members. But do that quiz and find out, see what you could find. Your reactions to Manafort and Corsi and now the Daily Beast. We tweeted this article reporting on how they were trying to make this about Seth Rich. There's also a headline in the Post that they're looking at the late night calls between Trump and Roger Stone in 2016. So Trump knew. And that goes to the point Brittany was making earlier about whether or not he perjured himself in writing his own written responses. Deutsche Bank has been raided, folks, as part of a money laundering investigation. Oh, I'm sure the last committee Trump wanted Maxine to chair was financial services. So he is probably, has he tweeted this morning? He is probably going to go crazy in the new year. I mean, if not sooner. He already went crazy the other day with some of his tweets. And, he's been tweeting a lot. He's calling this a Joseph McCarthy style witch hunt. That's what he tweeted about a couple hours ago. No collusion. So ridiculous. But what's interesting, and it just came to me as I was talking with Harley, the things they do, like Alex Jones over conspiratorializes so that it negates and drowns out legitimate conspiracies. So they over-investigated Clinton so that it drowns out and delegitimizes meaningful and necessary investigations like this one. So let's not even be fooled by that. They know what they do. So they saturate the conversation with that. So we need to be mindful of that. Okay. We're going to get ready to get out of here. Stephanie Miller, Tom Hartman, Michelangelo Signorelli, Dean Obedelli. Go to SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon. Bid on a chance to see us in studio. Okay? And you can meet Brittany and Andrew and all of that. Take pictures with them. Enjoy your day, everyone. SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain.